When and where did Brothers and Bones start?
It started, well, myself and Rich, the lead singer, had been playing music for a really long time now. We started in Cornwall, where we both kind of grew up in the southwest of England. So we were always doing like a kind of guitar percussion duo thing for a bit. But the project, as it is now, with James, Mias and Alex, is about 4 years old. We are all London-based, have been for a while. We kind of met through other players and recommendations from other players, and then about 4 years ago.
What adjective would you choose to describe your band and why?
What? Sorry?
Adjective.
It's just a rocky kind of old school band. Do you know what I mean? I think we've always looked up to the bands that kind of just played from their heart and went out and just worked really hard, and kind of, rather than sort of following popular music and stuff like that, they kind of just did what they felt was right. So it's kind of the same sort of path that we've taken really, and we've just gone out and played loads of shows and stuff like that. And by playing a lot of shows, I guess we've kind of just learned that just by putting on an energetic performance and kind of feeding off the crowd, that's kind of our thing. So as a style, I guess it kind of is very dynamic. It kind of goes from quite soft to quite loud. Again, it's just something that we've learned by playing lots of concerts, and the fact that playing soft and loud kind of helps keep people's attention and draws in a crowd. So I don't know, we haven't really put a name on it yet, but it's just what we like. So you know, every song's different. Every time like Rich comes in with an idea, maybe it's a ballad, maybe it feels like it should be rocky. So we just treat every song as an individual thing rather than we should do it like this. So
how does the making of a song work for you?
It varies. Some of the time, the singer might come with pretty much a whole song, so kind of pinned together, or at least an idea of the actual song, and we'll just put in our own flavours around it. More recently, we've kind of been doing just a lot of jamming together in one room. We went down to Cornwall again recently and just had a couple of weeks there, just playing music with no sort of idea of what we wanted to achieve or any sort of end goal. We just wanted to go and play music together. So that was more sort of an organic way of doing it and more of a group way. So that's kind of what we're doing at the minute. So it kind of varies a little bit, I suppose. And, you know, sometimes James might come in with a riff idea and then we'll build stuff around that, or Rich might sing something, or it might be a drum groove that. We've
also got in the last year, especially the last year, we started writing more on tour. We were on the road a lot, so we're spending a lot of time in the van, and it got to a point where it was just like, how can we make the time more useful? So we always keep like a guitar in the van, and we're able to plug like an iPad into the speakers and put like a little drum kit on there. So a few of the songs, even If I Belong, which is on the album, that kind of came about in the car. So it can just be at any time really. There's no sort of set formula. It's getting more organic, like Rob said. We're kind of starting to just experiment with just playing whenever and however we can. So.
Your music goes to rock from folk with a mix that is able to satisfy fans of Butch John. What brought you to make this choice? Did you want to come up with something new, or just mix your?
I think it's the influences. Just that not that we're that thing or that thing, but you know, I think the fact that Rich, who's predominantly he's the main songwriter. He's very influenced by the likes of Bob Dylan and Ray LaMontagne and John Martin and all these kind of old school guys that sing and write songs on acoustic guitars. So, but all of us also we really enjoy the sort of rockier side of music as well, and things like with percussion and rhythms, that kind of tribal element. So it's not as I said earlier, it's not something that we've kind of gone, oh, we need to make sure we do this, but it's kind of happens quite naturally in that when Rich has got, oh, I've got this sort of idea and it's quite pacey and I want it to feel exciting. It's quite easy to be like, well, what if we add some djembe and make it like tribal and stuff like that. So it just so happens that through doing that, we kind of cover quite a lot of ground, and because where we want to take the songs, so make bits really small or really big, it kind of means that we end up playing, like a song might cover a folk genre, a rock genre, a grungy genre, quite bluesy in places, you know. So yeah, I think it's something that's just happened naturally because there's 5 people in the band that have 5 different tastes of music, but there's a sort of a middle ground where all of us meet and go like, I really like that. So in doing that, it's kind of that creates that sound, I guess.
Yeah, it goes back to what we were saying about just trying to make music that we like and we want to make, rather than predetermined stuff like you should go down this one path. We're just making the music that we feel we enjoy to play and enjoy writing. So I suppose our influences naturally come through in that way, I suppose.
You work with some important artists like Bastille, Ben Onward. How was it to work with them, and how was it helpful to your artistic growth?
It was really, it's always a pleasure, you know, we did a few shows with Bastille, Rich has done a lot of shows with Ben, and it's always it's a massive privilege and we really appreciate it. They're all, everyone that we've worked with, but those specific people were really friendly and welcoming and wanted us to be there, which is really nice, and it all has the added aspect of big audiences that enabled us to play.
Also very, very different audiences as well.
Yeah.
You know, Bastille are very much pop, and Ben Howard, particularly now with his second album, has kind of gone down a kind of darker, more grown-up route as well. So it's quite nice to see how they can sort of grow and maintain their audience by doing such different things. You know, they're both playing really big concerts, you know, like arenas, but doing very different styles of music. But it's great. What for us, it's a big compliment for us to be able to actually step into both of those areas and be like, cool, like Bastille think that we're appropriate to support them, and Ben thinks we're appropriate to support him. So it's nice for us to feel like we can cross over to both of those genres rather than just being like, oh, you're only that. So like that, it's a nice pat on the back for us, I guess, for us to carry on doing what we are doing.
And often with some of the support shows that we've had with other bands, we've not done it with the full five players. Do more kind of acoustic strip back thing. Sometimes 2 of us, sometimes 3 or 4, and that then means we spend time rearranging the songs, and that's a whole another creative process. So that kind of helps us develop that side as well, which is always really fun.
Your first album came out this year after some demos, EPs and so on. How did your music develop, and what part brought you to its production?
Well, we've been around for like 3 or 4 years, and we've been doing a lot of touring. And from day one, we always knew it was like a homegrown thing. We always wanted to take it upon ourselves to grow it the way we want and to record it the way we want. But along the way, we've met a lot of people that are quite influential and people that we've always really wanted to work with. So we did a few EPs just to try and just to learn, and also just to find out what really is Brother&Bones, because it's very hard until you get something on recording and then to hear it back. It's very hard to sort of hear it from an audience perspective because you're so close to the music, and so caught up in it. And you know, sometimes people, we're all guilty of getting like precious about, you know, like say like a guitar part. Oh, you know, I like that part, though, don't get rid of it. But it's only until you listen back to it that you go, like, actually, that was a good call. So what we didn't want to do was rush into writing or recording and releasing our first album, because we're all aware that it's quite important as a band to make a statement and make it count. So we just took our time with it, and we did a lot of touring and kind of just learned by doing it that way, and learned what worked with audiences.
There's also, I was going to say, a lot we learned with the recording process. There's so many different studios and different producers, but the way we recorded each EP in a different way with a different approach. Actually physically in the studio, did different things and got different sounds. And each time we did it, we learned something new, and we were like, okay, that really works, but that would probably be best to do this way. So that just gave us way more sort of knowledge, I suppose, so we could try and actually make the record we wanted to make for the full album. So I think that kind of helped sort of refine the sounds and the songs like that, recording wise as well.
Okay. Alma is the first single from your debut album, and it's a song that has a great impact visually, musically and lyrically, and maybe also contains some historical references, I don't know.
Yeah.
How was this song created?
Well, I guess you're kind of speaking to the wrong person really. It's Rich that sort of came up with the idea, and I think he was watching a documentary about the World War II in particular, and I think it really moved him, and he felt like he had to write about it. And it's just something that when he came into the rehearsal room, was just like, I want to do this, and this is the idea. It just happened very naturally, and the sort of all the ideas and stuff like that, we just wanted to make something that was real powerful, and it did kind of, I don't know. The recording we got, that's how we all envisioned it. So when he said, this is how I want to do it, and I want to make sure that it's kind of got this big gang vocal and stuff like that, and some of the drum roll stuff, it kind of has that sort of military vibe as well. So without kind of making it too obvious, it was kind of, we just wanted to make it feel, a very, very literal, I guess, to that, even though, you have to kind of look into it to find the clues, I guess. I'll give them away.
Some of your songs are about love pains. Why did you choose to show this side of love?
Shall I go and get him?
Rich?
Ask again?
Yeah.
Some of your songs are about love pain. So why did you choose to show this side of love?
I don't know, I suppose it's the things that compel you to write. I don't think you really choose them sometimes. I don't know, I'm not so good at writing the happier, more positive, hopeful side of things. Well, especially for songs on that album particularly. I don't know, I don't think it's really a conscious effort to choose to write in a specific way, it just kind of happens, I don't know, maybe.
We noticed that another recurring theme of both songs and video is water. Has it any meaning, or just a random thing?
Again, I suppose it's just, maybe it's because we grew up around the sea and the ocean, I don't know, it's like, again, it's not like a conscious thing, but I suppose a big part of the culture where we were growing up, it used to be like a small fishing village.
We are an Italian website, and a few days ago you played in Italy. What was it like playing there?
It was brilliant. It was only our second time to Italy, and the first time we only did the one show. And if we're honest, we sort of didn't really know what to expect, because you don't when you go to brand new cities and brand new countries. But it was brilliant. We had more people there than we thought we would, and the reaction from people was brilliant, and they were really welcoming, and some people knew some of the words and stuff, which was for me it was a real surprise, and it was really great, and really pleased to do the journey down, because it's the furthest we come south this time. It's been great. Looking forward to coming back.
What about your future project?
What next?
Yeah.
I think we're all going to go home and after a bit of sleep start more writing. I think is the kind of I mean we've already got a bunch of ideas for new stuff, kind of that we're piecing together. So I think more of that.
Yeah, it seems quite strange seeing that we've only just really released our first album to be talking about. I suppose there was such a long build up to releasing that album. Our heads are definitely. We're probably going to go and do a few more bits of touring on this album. But yeah, mainly just go and make another record. I think maybe some more happy songs.
With no water.
Yeah, just desert.
Right, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.